This is the Otaku Nation podcast. I'm here alongside with me a man that used to have a mohawk for 30 seconds. He is the member of Anime Lovers. He's AKA It's Story Time with Jayvee Pasqua. How you doing, man?
What's up?
And I am the current admin and Facebook group of Anime Lovers, facebook.com/group/Anime Lovers admin. This is episode number 2, guys. The first one was just a test to see how we can do in the podcast. Say it wasn't that bad. What do you think, JV?
It had its problems here and there, but it was pretty good, considering it was the first one.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I have so many topics on mine. Me and JV actually did watch Fate Zero first episode, before we came over here. And I gotta say, I didn't even get to finish the first episode because we had to come here before the time ran out. But I thought the first episode was pretty interesting because, Fate Zero starting off with a great cinematic entrance video with whoosh, the special effects and all that. It was pretty sick. We only went halfway through, and then 2 o'clock came by, and I'm like, oh fuck, we gotta go. So because of that, what's I going to say? Fate Zero. I say it's a must watch, even though I only watched half of the first episode. But take a chance at it. You might start to enjoy it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's start off with the first topic, or no, first segment, called "What Have You Watched This Previous Week?" Start with you, JV, because I have a lot on my mind that I've watched lately.
I've watched a good combination of anime and anime movies. Movie-wise, I watched both Evangelion movies. I watched probably probably one of the most recognizable among big audiences. Probably the most recognizable movie, and that's Vampire Hunter D. And I've also watched this strange, really old school 1986 anime movie called Dragon Egg.
That's pretty old.
Yeah, it's pretty old. And I've also rewatched Inuyasha, and I finished watching it, and I also rewatched Inuyasha Final Act. I rewatched the Evangelion series, and I know that's probably gonna create some big buzz around that because of what's behind that series. And I think I also started rewatching the Gundam series, and I finished watching Samurai Champloo because a couple years ago I only watched the first 5 episodes, and after that I got busy with a couple of things, so I need to rewatch the episode. So I rewatched the first 5 episodes and then finished the episode. So yeah, that's what I've been watching. I'll probably watch more, but I can't remember right now. But it will come to me. How about you, John?
Hold on a second. I want to talk about Neon Genesis.
I know you would.
I bet you're thinking what I'm thinking. How good is it?
It's if I was gonna give it a scale, I'd probably give it an 8.7 out of 10.
Ooh, what? That's not what I was thinking about.
Why? What were you thinking?
That's I don't know. Neon Genesis to me. Okay, story concept was pretty good. I liked it. This really big pussy
Shinji Hikari
has been chosen to control a mecha. Save the world from this little destruction that happened.
Even though they could have gotten trained professionals to do that.
That's the problem with that.
Instead of some 14-year-old pussy. Sorry about the language.
But the thing is that it started out pretty well. The ending, when it came around to it, it seemed so bland. It wasn't.
That's because that's because they couldn't get enough budget during the last couple of episodes, so they sort of had to skimp on a couple of things when it did reach the climax. And then the movies came out, and that's what the ending that they wanted to do with Neon, or the creator used the movies to show the ending that he wanted to do with that series. At the same time, there were moments in the movie that were just like, what the fuck? Sorry about the language.
The movie was just, to me, so bad.
But that's how the creator wanted it to end. He did not.
That's
He took creative control of a series that he made, and he did. I understand where you're coming from. Like I saw the movies, both of them. The first one was complete shit.
It's just basically
Just like
what happened.
The first one was
beforehand.
just trying to hype you up for the
Yeah,
second
it was.
movie,
That
and then the
was the
second
thing.
movie was the actual ending of, or what supposedly what the creator wanted to do to end Evangelion Genesis.
But it didn't end.
Whatever it was.
It didn't end as what I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
It's kind of really disappointing because it was so strong at first. The ending just seemed so cheap and bland. Like I just thought they didn't support the ending enough as to it's the start where it just got you build it up. The ending was just I wanted to rage on it, but I don't want to break people's ears. You know what I'm saying? But
Question: what was your rating from out of 10 for Neon Genesis?
I'll give you an honest rating. It's probably 5 out of 10.
Oh, okay, good. Now I hear your rating, because the thing is, I was being generous with the 8.7 because considering that this series is very popular among animes, but anime lovers. But at the same time, now that I've heard your rating, so I wouldn't hear the backlash that comes from that. I think it would be safe to say then I would probably give it, my truthful answer would probably be a 6 out of 10.
Okay, that sounds pretty realistic to me.
All right. The thing about that 6 out of 10 though is the reason why I don't do a 5 is because the thing is a 5 is half good, and 6 means that it's sort of it's a little bit past half good, which it was, and considering the problems that it faced with the budget and a story that was a bit very here and there, it did pretty well. And then you had the movies. And the movies,
No, to me, the movies is what ruined the show itself.
yeah, a lot of fans would say that.
A lot of people expected, even when beforehand, I had people talk to me about it. They were before the movie began, they were expecting a great movie because it was all leading up to the end.
Yeah,
Come to the theaters, they watch it, come out.
you're left with more questions.
Yeah, and just big disappointment too because it seemed like a cheap production. It wasn't it wasn't fully built enough. It wasn't written well. It's just basically they wasted their money on watching movies, the Neon Genesis movies.
And not only that, I could see where you're coming from with that. And then, well, with me and certain anime, I like to give it 2 ratings. The rating of out of 10 or out of 5, which I just gave, and then I also give the rating of yes or no, whether yes to watch the anime or no to watch the anime. And I would say yes to watch the anime, and even yes to watch the second movie, not the first movie, just because the thing about this series is it's a series that makes you think and sort of feel certain stuff that you never thought you could feel for something like this. And by the end of the movie and by the end of the series, you were angry, you were left with more questions, and you were left with a sense of feeling of what the hell. And
Well, to me, the end of the movie is more angry, actual angry. What the hell?
yeah, fair enough.
didn't-
But at the same time, it made you feel that, and you thought you'd never, and which going into it, you thought you'd never feel sort of that.
I feel pissed.
Yeah,
Basically,
I guess.
just watching it though.
So that's the reason why I would recommend it. It brings up a whole can of emotions with the movie and the series. Not only that too, so that's why I recommend it. But at the same time, there are moments in this film that just they're quite disturbing
Yeah, you could say that. You could
or
say
bizarre or fucked up, for lack of
that.
a better word.
Yeah.
One scene in particular, probably in the second movie. What's the red-haired hair?
I actually
The name
forgot
again?
her name.
Anyways, there's Shinji Ikari, and then there's this German redhead in the movie, and and those who watch the anime probably know who I'm talking about. But there's a scene in the movie where this German redhead, she's in a comatose state. She has all these, wires, or all these, not wires, all these UVs going into her, to sustain her life. And you know what happens? The main character, Shinji Ikari, actually grabs her. Her top opens up, her breasts are exposed, and then all of a sudden, he closes the door, locks the door, and immediately wanks off
Yeah.
to
yeah,
this comatose
yeah,
girl.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that one, that is disturbed and effed up. You are pleasuring
It's
yourself
like
to a
this.
comatose
It's like a
girl.
disturbing and like to me, I face palmed that scene.
Yeah, face palm at the scene. And not only it's not that too, but here's a series where you had so many fans just ship those two characters. You know, where they had Shinji Hikari and this redhead that I'm having trouble trying to figure out the name. Sorry, it's an old series. But anyways, yeah, you have these two people, and people are like, Shinji X this girl, or they did fan art of these two together, and then boom, here comes the scene. The girl is in a coma, and then Shinji just locks the door and just wangs off to this girl, and like after ripping her top off when she's in a coma. Like, come on, for the creator who or whoever wrote that
The
scene.
creator, I'll give him props for the start of the show,
Yeah, fair enough.
but like maybe the budget wasn't there.
During
And
the last couple episodes,
like they probably needed the fan service to get people's, the people to come over to their show and like get into it.
I guess you need a certain amount of fan service.
But that scene though was kind of a little bit over the top to me.
Yeah, that scene, there's fan service where it could be, I don't want to say tasteful because fan service is really never tasteful. At the same time, there's a way to do fan service where it's there for it's the exact purpose, fan service. But then when you do fan service with a whole disturbing type of just
Jerking off. And
jerking
just,
off to a
like,
comatose girl, you
it's
know,
like almost like kind of rape.
almost like rape and a certain degree of necrophilia involved in that. Like, you take something that's supposed to be there just for, I guess, shits and giggles and laughs and in its intended purpose, you know, for tits and ass,
Yeah.
like for what, you know, a lot of anime watchers are guys, so they, you know, they'll watch, you know, and the fan service is there for that. But then when you do what Shinji Hikari did, that's sort of, it's quite disturbing in a way.
Neon Genesis, man, ladies and gentlemen. I say watch just a little bit of it and stop it right there before you kill yourself at the end of it.
Yeah,
End of story,
even
man.
even like there were even scenes aside from there's that scene with the coma jacking off scene. Sorry about sorry about the vulgarness of this
I can
podcast.
guarantee you that most of these people who are watching will search up for that scene.
Fair
Probably
enough,
like
fair
jerk
enough.
off to it. It's a guarantee. There's gonna be at least some people who are going to search that thing up and they're just gonna jerk off to it.
Which in itself is quite disturbing.
It's yeah.
But anyways, yeah, there's that scene. But then there's scenes in Neon Genesis that, because a lot of the characters in it who are involved in that show, it shows their spiral into madness. And when you're watching that, you get sort of goosebumps watching that just because of the imagery that comes with it, and
Yeah.
that's another reason why I recommend watching it, because you get goosebumps,
You do.
you know, your hair sticks on its end watching like these characters slowly but surely spiral into madness, and quite the ride. It's
Like,
quite the rad ride.
Development's great, but then yeah, the development is like great in the characters of Neon Genesis. But then like once they reached it, like at the peak of it, it just went downhill because we all like, the whole like show built itself to like this really disappointing ending. Just
Yeah,
didn't work
fair
out,
enough.
man.
And it's sort of a bit sad just because this is an anime that a lot of people were introduced to the anime community through this, and a
Well,
lot
most
of
of the people I wasn't introduced to this, but
yeah, most people, like I wasn't one of them, but
yeah,
a lot of people view this as, like, I guess the standard
like anime
for anime, and I guess
and mecha and all that.
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, and mecha anime in general. At the same time, there are I don't there at the same time there have been animes that have come out in recent years that have been better, and I know I'm probably gonna get flack for that, but it's true. I mean, Neon Genesis was a good anime, and for its time, it dealt with a lot of stuff that probably not a lot of shows had the balls to deal with, and showed imagery that was disturbing, beautiful, and yet thought provoking at the same time. However, once it sort of reached its end and its climax, and with the movies, it sort of slowed down a bit and sort of made you. And honestly, there was just the only word that I could use to sort of describe it is just a whole bunch of mindfuckery. Because that's what it was. With the last couple episodes and the movies, it was a bunch of mindfuckery, and that's
in
all
a
I can
bad way
say.
to me. Like there's a lot of anime that can give you like that in a good way. Neon Genesis
Yeah,
is not one of them
Uh,
for sure.
yeah. May I suggest an anime called Paranoia Agent? That's an anime that deals with good storytelling with mindfuckery, and it's pretty good anime. I recommend it.
Neon Genesis though, I got introduced to that because of the opening. Like a lot of people say,
Dun, 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 dun.
a lot of people on YouTube they would rate their top 10 anime openings and all that, and Neon Genesis
It's up there.
would be always on the top 10 list. Every time I go,
It's
look
catchy.
at
It's catchy.
it is very catchy, and I thought that's what got me into watching this show. Sometimes the song
It didn't match the
it didn't
opening
match. That's the thing.
because it was like it started very serious in the beginning, and then it gets all like funky on us. Like once like the beginning lyrics, Yeah, it goes like- yeah. it goes all like pop and like funky on us, which I like because it is like it's catchy. At the same time, like the imagery in the background really like the beginning seemed to match, but then once it started getting funky, like it really like the mech battles really sort of didn't match with that. But you know what? I like the opening. It was good.
It was, man. It was. You also said you've watched Samurai Champloo.
Yeah,
I thought it was freaking amazing.
I thought it was too.
Like, awesome like samurai fighting that happens in that show. It's sick. And Mugen, Jin.
Fu.
No, no. To me, Fu was just
You
like
didn't even bring the girl up in
No,
this.
dude, because she doesn't do anything in that. She's basically there for like.
It's like Mario and like Mario saving a princess. So it's like except for like Samurai Champloo, Jean and like and Mugen, they're like Mario and they just have to save like this princess, aka Fu, from like
Yeah.
whatever stuff that's happening on in the episode.
You can say that Fu is also Princess Peach, but to me,
Fair enough.
she's also like filler. She's like just there because they probably need a female character,
Yeah.
and that's you. If any of you saw the show, you probably like noticed that she doesn't really do anything. She just the only thing she basically does is get scared of anything that happens in the scene.
Well, she did sort of.
Like the only thing she probably have
She
done,
did sort of create a distraction in the first episode to save their ass, but
That's but the only action she have ever gotten was like a big bitch slap to Mugen. That's basically it. And then like the interaction, yeah, but like
Yeah.
she doesn't do as like much. She's just like, why put her there anyway if she's just there?
because because she's probably there. It's written, if you watch the story or if you look at the story, it's sort of she's just there as the catalyst for these two characters to sort of interact together, so they become that trio of the characters, like two samurais, one girl. That sounds like a weird porno.
No, but thing is that with these two, they can basically just like they can build up their friendship by just fighting with each other and just helping out each other. But like
No, but like in the first episode, they wanted to kill each other, and they were, and in certain scenes,
I'll give you that.
and in certain scenes, they were really close to like killing each other. But when like Fu comes along, they make a promise to her. So then now there's this thing sort of stopping them from trying to kill each other, which
but
which probably is what progresses. Well, there's other stuff that progresses the story, but I guess there sort of wouldn't be a story if Fu wasn't there.
No, but like thing is that that's her role only. That's like her only role, and like you can basically deal with any extra character that comes by.
Fair enough.
With like you can say like Sakura can be like that filler, but she actually does something.
Not a lot in like the recent episodes of Naruto.
Oh,
like
okay,
yeah,
but, like,
Naruto has like Naruto hasn't featured Sakura a lot in the recent episodes. So yeah,
But I love their fighting skills in like Samurai Champloo.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty sick.
Break dance samurai fights.
Yeah, best stuff ever, man.
Which I feel like that's really cool how they combine two like cultures, like the Edo samurai Japan era, sorry, and they combine that with the hip hop cultures of like New York, the Bronx,
Yeah, with-
like LA, yeah.
It's like gangster samurai
Yeah.
show. basically.
Yeah, they combine two unlike things that would seem so weird together,
But
but they made it work. They made it work.
also the opening is like pretty catchy to myself too. I like the opening there.
Yeah, the opening is pretty catchy. Hell, even the ending too. It's like
The ending,
the ending is pretty catchy too.
rap, and then just soothing ending.
Like yeah,
it's
a rap in
nice.
the beginning, and then like yeah, like I don't know if the opening is like a Japanese rapper.
I think it's a Japanese. It's a Japanese.
Okay, yeah,
Rapper.
you have like a Japanese rapper in the opening, and then in the ending, you have like this smooth sounding like female singer, and it was pretty like the dichotomy of that is awesome.
Like the mixture of it. It's
A
just
mixture of awesome, like and that's another thing about Shamar Champloo too. It actually had a really diverse soundtrack. Looking back at it, or
even the background music during like
yeah,
the anime that airs,
yeah,
it's nice in there.
yeah.
I like
They
it.
had the hip hop, they had beatboxers
Yeah,
in the show, so they had that. They still had that hip hop culture, and then during certain parts, you would hear a DJ scratching a disc or scratching vinyl, which once again hip hop stuff, and then during certain parts they would like do traditional Japanese, classical music or traditional like samurai Japanese music that you would hear in like movies like Seven Samurai or something like that. And the mixture of those two, it sounded good.
I like it, man. The mixture is nice. If you guys want to know the rating, I would give it. I wouldn't give it a rating. I'd probably just tell you just to watch it because
Yeah, same here too. Just watch it. It's a good anime.
like even if I say 3 out of 10, you probably would just be into it because it's just really good. Like I would say 10 out of 10 honestly for me because like it has a great array of, interesting like fighting scenes, interaction besides Fu, which I still think she's not like
Necessary.
yeah, still. But still with Mugen and Jin, I thought they looked so cool. They're like the badass characters I've always imagined in my mind as an anime person. And you know, well, did they have a storyline in there? I don't remember.
There's like the underlining storyline with I'm trying to find the samurai that smells of sunflowers, but you know, it sort of some parts sort of went off in their own way, but it was a good anime.
It's like
and,
in a way that it's just
Yeah.
still enjoyable.
yeah,
You know.
break dancing samurai warriors, man.
It's sick. It's sick. You also said you've also watched Inuyasha.
Yeah, I rewatched that.
You watched it.
Because Final Act, like the English dub of Final Act came out.
I haven't watched
And
the final.
I watched Final Act in the Japanese dub, but then I wanted to see how it was in the English dub. I think the voice actor for Shishomaru got replaced, so that was sort of a bit of a bummer. But the new guy sounds exactly sort of the same as the old
you
actor.
sure about that? I haven't really watched the dub of it.
Yeah.
It's-
Although the new guy is a bit more expressive than the first voice actor, but it was fine with me. And the English dub came out, so I sort of because of that I rewatched all the rewatched the Inuyasha as a series, and I rewatched the movies and then finished Final Act 2.
I haven't watched the final act. I only watched the first episode, but I haven't really got a good grasp of what's happening though.
That's the thing though, because they ended Inuyasha so abruptly, like
It wasn't
with
what's happening.
yeah, it wasn't a cliffhanger, but they ended with not an actual ending where there were still storylines and still stuff that wasn't addressed and stuff that they still had to take care of. So that's how it ended, and then eventually they came out with a couple of years later on. They came out with Final Act to end the whole series. So watching Final Act, it's weird because you forgot a lot of the things that you watched in the previous Inuyasha because Final Act just took a lot of years to come out and to complete the Inuyasha series. That's why Final Act came out, but it came out so long after the original series that it was a bit hard to sort of. I guess it's sort of hard to pick it up and sort of understand what's going on. At the same time, that's why I rewatched some of the Inuyasha episodes.
To get an understanding.
Yeah,
of
to
it.
get an understanding of it.
What happened in the ending? Because I don't really plan on watching the act. If anyone's watching this, spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Here comes the 1st one.
We'll try not doing.
Okay, at least
Spoiler alert. But we're not gonna at the same time we're not gonna
basically like specifically say
Yeah.
say what happened in the episode. But I wanted to know because like I still don't understand. I tried watching 2. I stopped halfway because I still don't get what's going on in the show.
Well, there's Naraku, which was the main villain throughout the entire show.
Yeah.
And there's other forces of evil there, and they have to fight them. And you know what? And the thing is, it's coming. Like our heroes eventually win. They beat the bad guys. I mean, come on. Like it's all leading up to that. They spent a couple hundred episodes, more than 100 episodes, trying to lead on to that. And come on, you can't just end the series where you have a good side, a bad side, and then you just end it with the bad side winning. So yeah, they beat the bad side. That's a spoiler without really being a spoiler. It's a given. And also, I'm just gonna put this out right there right now. And once again, I might get people might be pissed for this because I gave it out. Sango and Moroku do get together, but that was a given as well.
I like that.
Yeah,
it's not bad. I like
even
that.
though Moroku was like pegged as that pervy, like pervy monk that touches ass every time he gets.
I love him.
Like
to me,
but at the same time, like he represented like a comedic factor there, and not only that, but then they just they made it so that they were like underlining like sexual tension between those characters. So eventually they do that, and they have kids, so bam.
Even better, man.
They have kids later on in that series. Shishomaru gets a new sword. His new sword's pretty badass. I'll give out there. And I'll have to say, and I say this, I like Shishomaru more than Inuyasha as character-wise.
Actually, I've made a battle poll in my group where if for some reason with Inuyasha facing against his old brother, who would win the battle? There was like at least 6 people out of the 3 who would say Shishomaru would beat the battle of Inuyasha. So there's a lot of fans out there who would love to see him win.
Because for the most part, like the advantage with Inuyasha though just comes with his sword, and usually he got most of his power from his sword. Take that sword away, and Shishomaru has the advantage. But so Shishomaru gets a new sword. And his sword's pretty badass. Big explosions, with that sword, like a new attack. It's pretty cool too. He's still babysitting Rin, but that that storyline.
That's a given.
That's a given, and that storyline will progress in the end. With Rin's character, and then of course the romance between Inuyasha and Kagome will progress as well. And
really,
yeah, it will progress as well, and you will see. I don't want to spoil it for you, so I'll leave it up there.
Okay. Let's stop there. How about Shippo?
Shippo?
The short fox demon. Is he a fox? What about him? Like
Shippo, like I think he like runs a school for demons now. Like because throughout most of the series, demons are pegged as these bad like characters and like evil characters, but then there are the good demons too, and I think Shippo becomes like a teacher towards these good demons, which is pretty fine. I'm fine with that.
It's weird because are they going to listen to like a midget? Like
technically he's like 100-something years old.
Still though, he doesn't look pretty intimidating.
Yeah,
you would expect like they're demons.
Well, that's why he has friends there, so like the friends maybe can enforce it. And Sango's brother, I forgot the name.
He shows up most of the time, but
he's usually like in Final Act. He's usually with like Shishomaru's group.
Yeah.
So like they do storylines with him, and he sort of becomes like a pretty cool character as well. And like close to the end, he gets a new weapon too. Like he gets sort of a boomerang thing, like his sister, which is pretty cool. I just wish I could remember his name.
So you already told me what you've watched. All of them are pretty old.
Yeah.
What I've watched lately.
I've watched like the 2 other movies too. I watched Dragon Egg and Vampire D Bloodlust, which are by now they're actually 2 really old movies, and you could tell by them in animation style.
So back to the old school. I'm actually like watching all the newest anime that happened this week. Well, because
old school, new school.
Well, that's only because I have like a premium membership to Crunchyroll now. Free coupon. I get 15 days worth of free anime to watch.
Just getting a plug out there.
Yeah, try getting the free trial. It's worth it if you're interested in watching new anime. What I've watched, there's so many because I had the membership, so I went nuts on it. Kotoura-San, the new episode of that. Have you heard of School Idol? Love Live? School Idol Project?
No.
Figured. There's Sakurasou No Pet Kanjo. I talked about that last week. There is an anime. What's it called? It's a student council anime. I forgot the title of it. And I also watched the spin-off of Naruto, Ninja Lee and Pals.
Oh,
Yeah,
Chibi, or was it like
yeah, the
I-
chibi version of it. I made um, a short paragraph about it. Cause there's a lot of people who hated it on Crunchyroll.
the Chibi one? Like,
Yeah, that's only because it's not really. It's like
it's parodizing the big three. It's one of the big three, so I guess so.
yeah, and then like it's because like they don't. It's more like a comedic side to the character. So like you get to see their funny side of it most of the time, all the time actually.
Like Full Metal, there's like Full Metal Panic, and then there's like Full Metal Panic
Fumu.
Famufu, so
Yeah,
which
something
was
like
the
that.
comedy one. So.
Yeah. Ninja Lee Pals to me, to all you Crunchyroll haters, I liked it. It was pretty funny to watch like Rock Lee do all of his stupid like idiotic shit that happens in there.
Guy Sensei!
Oh, there's what's funny? There's like a romantic like there's like a romantic moments where he would just like
With who?
with Guy Sensei, man.
With Guy Sensei?
Of course, man. And Neji, basically, he's like a trendy dresser. Like he dresses up in girls' clothes every single episode.
So he's a cross dresser?
He's a cross dresser. Yeah, yeah. And
Wait,
like,
but then again, he's like wearing like a kimono or something, right? So it's like,
no. Like in every single episode, he would dress like something different. Like
is
cross
it,
dress.
wait, is it like Haku where like, will he
No, just anything. He would just dress up like there would be most where he just would dress up as Haku, even
like
though
in a
that's
dress, like Haku,
yeah,
like he
yeah.
was a dude, but he was a dude that looked like a chick, but then he dressed like a chick.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
is it something like that?
Something
where
like that,
Where like
like-
Neji dresses up like as a chick.
yeah, but except it happens every single episode. And then like Tenten,
Screen time.
well, no, she actually has a role. She,
I know. That's what I'm saying though. Like, come on, like she barely has screen time in
which
Naruto.
I believe she deserves.
Yeah,
it.
she deserves that in Naruto. And hell, I know I'm gonna get shit for this. Kishimoto, is it Kishimoto? Yeah, it is. That writes Naruto, right?
Yeah,
Kishimoto.
I think so.
Or whoever like does the episodes for Naruto. You know what you should just do? You should just pair Naruto with Tenten and like just cause like a whole commotion with that. Just cause a whole commotion with that because everybody thinks it's either Sakura or Hinata. But
It's
you
already
should
been a commotion when Hinata died.
yeah, I know a commotion.
I-
With, yeah, it's commotion with just Sakura and Hinata. But you should just, you know what, troll your way with that romance and just hook up Naruto and Tenten together, and that would be, the matchup there. A matchup of those two characters would be good.
It's,
I mean, because Tenten too is like all three characters are pretty like strong ninjas, but Tenten takes it really seriously. So I think that would be like a good dynamic where like Naruto is like this fun-loving guy, while Tenten's more serious and like more about like skill and shit like
which,
that.
by the way, the whole Naruto Lee thing, Tenten's character is like a completely different person.
Then in like
She's
the actual,
actually like she turns out to be she's probably the funniest out of like
the three,
three in the show.
The-
Like she does like the biggest like punchlines, right?
Yeah, the
she does
the
a
punchlines.
lot of that in the show, and it makes me laugh sometimes to see her just like just like punchline every single time that Lee does something or Neji cross dresses or something like that. It's freaking hilarious. Like I say, watch it. Like if you don't have like if you don't know what to watch, or like if you don't like know, or like if you're waiting for another anime to come out, I say take the time to at least watch one episode of Naruto Lee, because it's pretty funny. Like I liked it.
it's some funny shit.
I also what I wanted to talk about, it was Love Live School Idol Project. Have you heard of it before?
No, but I could sort of from the title I could sort of see where it's
Here.
leading up to.
Make a big prediction. What do you think it's about? Like, tell me. What do you think it's about? I wanted to like.
Is it like a singing competition in school or something like that, or choir?
Okay, you're almost there. Okay. It's a story about a high school. A high school they don't have that much people left. They were losing like classmates for some strange reason, and no one's not coming to their school because of their history. They don't have a big history of like there's like say there's a school with a great history of baseball players that are great. Well,
Also,
this
that yeah, so they don't have like a school legacy.
they,
Like for example, like in high school, like yeah, for in high school, like one major like big high school for like a high school sports legacy. For example, in the states, there's a Michigan High, or there's a high school in Michigan that produces like all the best
yeah,
basketball players,
like
and they all go into like the NBA.
yeah, they don't have a reputation.
Yeah,
That's the thing. Like they're all like average or below average on any type of
sport
like
or
activity there.
activity, arts, music.
So this girl, I forgot her name already. Oh jeez, I have to like go back to that. But she tries to figure out what to do in order to save the school from closing down. So what she does, like she saw like a big group idol called A Rise from another school that has a big reputation for that group of girls. Because of that school, they're getting so much people coming in because of a school idol group. So what she thinks is that she should make a group of high school girls. Do you know like girls generation? Have you heard that group before? Or
No.
like any like Japanese like group of girls that like sing
Oh, okay.
like
Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
what's that song called? Like fuck, it's like the biggest thing on YouTube beforehand. Oh man, I have to get back to that too.
Mitsuna Hiku?
No, no, it's a group of girls that like just sing together. It's like, oh, I want nobody, nobody but you. You know that song?
Oh, that's Korean.
Okay, yeah, but like you know what I mean though,
I
right?
think it's
With
Korean.
that,
Yeah.
like you get an idea what I mean now, right?
No. And there was a dance that went along with it.
Yeah, that's what they do in the
Yeah.
show.
Okay.
And like she thinks by doing that will bring the school back, will bring people coming to school, and that was their goal at mind at first. So what she tried to do is bring like enough members so that they can compete.
So they create a band of females and like
Yeah, a female group. It's not like rocking. It's like dancing and like
pop. Yeah, I know.
pop and all that. So like she tries to bring like members to her group to attempt to make the school big and have like the school stay and not be closed down. So like her goal in mind was to basically get enough members and be so good at singing and dancing choreographed together that they would make it to a concert called Love Live, where a competition where a competition all across Japan, like the top 20 high school idol groups would come together and compete with each other to see who's the best like you know girls group dancing thing ever. I can't. It's the concept is so different.
Yeah, it is.
It's like for some reason I got into it because they made a big budget on that one because like their movements seem like it's actually like real. Like it's not cropped up to each other. They actually like seem like they're actually dancing. Like they don't go like you know what I mean, right? Like in most animes they crop sometimes here and there, but this animation is like fluid when they dance. It seems so real to watch. It's pretty cool. And like to me, the show's still going, so I recommend you guys to go take a look at it because it's pretty different from what I've seen in most anime shows I've watched. In order to survive, in order for the school to be, stay, like they won't close down, is to basically have a school idol group to bring more people into the school. It's just so weird. What else I wanted to talk about? Oh, there's so many. There's an anime. I forgot the title of it because I can't say it in Japanese. I suck at talking in Japanese. It's like a school council group, and they basically talk about what to do in their own anime show. It's like it's an anime about nothing. Like for 9 episodes, they would sit down
And talk.
and like talk about what to do in their show. It's like they actually literally like talk about what to do, like what's their plot. They're actually gonna make a conversation.
I've heard the show. There, one character is like the best artist in Japan. One character is the best writer in Japan.
Oh no,
Is it something like that?
it's almost like that. But like, there's one character who's like the smartest in the school,
And they debate whether or not
and
like about the anime.
and like there's like four other anime girls that are just like popular in their school. That's how like that's how the concept is made to make us council group. And like they just literally just talk about nothing. It's practically the best anime show about nothing. I got
It's like the Seinfeld of anime.
it's so interesting because like
Seinfeld wasn't interesting in my opinion.
it wasn't, but it's if you take a chance of watching it, it seems so. It's like you don't want to like it, but you like it. It's so weird because
Guilty? Is it like a guilty pleasure?
it's a guilty pleasure, that show. Well, that's like my like guilty pleasure because like they don't really do anything. They just like sit down and they just like they're like brain farts. They don't know what to do in this anime show. And they actually like literally just like talk about what to do as their plot or who's like this main character or they actually like discuss about it. It's just so weird. The opening is nice though, but it's so like it's not what the anime show is. It's like school days.
Why are you comparing it with School Days?
Like I'm talking about like the opening and then like the whole show
Oh,
itself. It's like not what you expect it to be. Like there's episode 0 where they actually have a plot where this guy wants to try to get into this to this school council, but there's a girl who's like so smart in school. She gets like perfect straight A's on everything. And like this guy's trying his best to get into that school council. So he tries to beg her to like at least fail or like beg her to like, just to dim down her like, smartness. He eventually does get in. And then like from there it's just like what the fuck? They just talk about nothing. They just talk about what to do in the show. It's interesting. I liked it. I like the show a lot.
speaking of guilty pleasures, I'm really into an anime. You probably this anime. You probably heard of it. Romeo and Juliet X.
I've heard of it before.
I recommend watching Romeo and Juliet X, it's Romeo and Juliet X, or Romeo and Juliet Zero. It's an anime roughly based on Romeo and Juliet, and when I mean roughly, it does dive sort of away a lot from the actual original plot by William Shakespeare. Copyright there. Like in the show, it's like it takes place in the future, and it's called Neo Verona, which is like I think it was a floating city in the show. And they sort of switched the roles of Romeo and Juliet a bit, where I think where Romeo is in ruling class, and then Juliet is sort of fighting for the lower people. So there's a switch up in role there, and then the stuff with another character that was in this in the play by William Shakespeare called Tybalt. His storyline is sort of changed a bit as like he's like the guardian for Juliet, protecting her, while she fights for the weak and all that. I'm trying to be very vague about this show because I want people to watch it because it is a pretty good show, and I don't want to give too many spoilers, but it's an interesting take, and it's a pretty cool take on William Shakespeare's classic tale of romance, and it's pretty interesting, and I recommend you watch it, and I recommend other people watch it as well. And one thing that I have to also say about the series is the language in it. Like there are parts where like it's just normal language, but then there are parts where it is actually a beautiful like written dialogue, where there's beautifully written dialogue, which of course is understandable because the thing about William Shakespeare is he was he was good at writing stories, but what he was known for was his language. He was known for was his dialogue, and a lot of that dialogue and a lot of the dialogue in the show is very Shakespearean-esque and very proper sounding, and it's cool to hear like anime characters just speak like that. And the music in this too is quite beautiful and quite very it's quite very awe, not awe inspiring, but it's like it's a type of stuff that you would hear in
Like Alfred Lied. That opening for
a
Alfred
feed
Lied.
like
That
no.
was like it's so cool, but it's like so weird and like
In Romeo and Juliet X or Zero, I forgot the title, but just because I'm bringing this up, that anime up randomly right now. The thing about it though is it has a lot of English songs in it, and the English songs are actually sung by Japanese singers, and they do a hell of a good job actually doing very popular English songs. I think they did one like they did like a moment like this by like Kelly Clarkson or something like that,
that's
no, or You Raised Me Up or something like that by Josh Groban or something, and they had like female Japanese singers sing this, and they did a good job singing it. Like they sound in English, these singers, and it does a good job in making you feel sort of the storyline or the romance, I guess, for these two characters. And considering like a show, like a romantic show, considering like most animes are based on action and all that stuff, and they do have their fan service, and then there's anime shows that are based on, there's romantic anime shows, and for some reason a lot of those are filled with fan service. With something like this, Romeo and Juliet X, there's very minimal, there's very minimal, if not at all, fan service, which is pretty interesting. And going back to Fate Zero, Fate Zero is another anime that it's another anime that doesn't have fan service as well.
I saw the first episode. You can fully tell they're actually taking
Like
this seriously.
yeah, they're taking it seriously.
Yeah.
There's no fan service involved.
Since we're talking about guilty pleasures, when I mentioned School Days, I actually liked watching School Days. And like I'm probably going to like get some laughter out of all these like anime reviewers or just like anime
Main character,
and, like-
main character sleeps with this other character, and then main character sleeps with this other main character, but then sleeps with the subplot main character. Then subsequently, 3 different girls are introduced just so the main character could sleep with all these other girls, and then subsequently 4
he
different
is
other.
basically a
Man whore.
He's a sex.
He's a man
toy.
whore.
He's a sex.
That's all you need to know. The main male character, the main boy
Makoto.
in this series, is a man whore.
I like the show. I don't even know why I liked it, but like
Is it like the absurdity of
it's
it? Like,
weird because it got me into it. Like especially when like he starts having sex with like a bunch of people. Like whoa,
Well,
what the fuck? Like
subsequently has sex
I thought, damn, this
with
is
like he dates this girl, he dates this other girl, and then all of a sudden 3 new girls gets introduced, and he has a threesome
Like,
with the
I'll
3 new
go-
girls while he's still dating the first 2 girls.
I'm going to probably
like damn.
No, I'm gonna probably get a lot of hate from this, but I love the storyline. And this,
Why?
I liked it. I don't know. It's like the whole story. Okay.
Oh hey, I'm this girl's best friend, and you like her. Let me help you get my best friend by sleeping with you. Let's make out.
but-
And let's practice.
it's
You talking about practice by touching my badge? Like what?
okay. No, but like,
Like
I
the
actually-
storyline there.
I actually got like hard thinking about this, but for some strange reason, like the storyline to me is just interesting because like we got a guy, you can tell he's so like average Joe, he's so like boring, but like he gets introduced to like 10 female characters to have sex with him. Like for all of us guys, you wish you can like have sex with like just 10 like come on. I know the majority, like some people out there would wish like if
They
there's
could be like basically
just be
basically
ugly, but
the main character is basically he's so normal, but then he's like a babe magnet, and I guess every guy wants to be a babe magnet.
like the whole breakup was so interesting. Kotona goes nuts. I'm like, whoa, this
And then it
like,
gets dark.
that's the
it gets
thing.
dark.
Like actually, like I don't know. Even though it's so cheesy to see them go dark, but it's just like I got into it.
Hell,
Like holy shit, she's
yo,
going to kill
hell.
somebody.
I wouldn't say like close to Evangelion, but borderline trying to like somewhat get to Evangelion like darkness.
Like it was just like you can tell by her expression. She's like, "Yo, I'm going to like get a knife and fucking just kill anyone on my side." Though you can tell by her eyes. It's just
You
like
think that's like a big spoiler, giving out the knife?
people won't even watch
yeah,
this
yeah,
show.
people you won't even watch
It's
it. Like
a given.
spoiler alert. What's the main character's name?
Makoto.
He dies.
Yeah, everyone,
Spoiler alert.
it's not
And,
even.
and one of the girls that he bangs kills him in a very brutal way.
It's
Like
not.
stab, stab, stab.
It's not even a spoiler when like millions of viewers on YouTube have
Probably hate this show.
well, they have watched the ending already, anyways. And
Yeah.
there's like a lot of people who just watched the ending, and then they just started to like just watch it because of that killed like that person that just got killed. I thought like I felt bad for that's even worse. I
Why?
felt bad for the guy.
You felt bad
I don't even.
for the guy that everybody like tags.
I wonder how
as like
many.
a dick.
I
as
wonder.
an asshole, a douchebag,
There's
the
a-
biggest pussy
there's
this side of Shinji
Listen to me,
Hikari.
man. There is a part of me where I thought I just felt for the dude who just got killed. I mean, he's so young, man. He got like so much years like with him, and like
Oh please! He slept with enough girls to contract AIDS, so he would have like the thing or like HIV. So the thing is like he was asking for it. All right.
But like the thing is, he doesn't even know. At first, he doesn't even know what to do. Like he never was in a relationship before.
He want? What are you
No,
talking?
no, no. At first of the show, man.
Fair enough.
Come on. And like he
No. That's like the guy. No, the main character. Like what's his name?
Makoto.
Yeah, I keep forgetting. Makoto. He's so indecisive with like a lot of decisions that he makes in the show, and it's just like whatever. He's just thinking with his penis instead of his brain right now.
Well, at the end of the show, but like at the start of it, you can say.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, you know what?
I guess so.
I also think of it this way as Sekai, the one who tried to who tries to bring Kotona and Makoto together, right? She's probably part of the reason why he became what he was, and like because she basically wanted him to herself. You saw that
Yeah.
the
sure.
whole like kiss thing that happened on the train station. Like, come on, come on! You knew like she just wanted all him to herself. You could like because he's never felt this before, and like once he got like that whole surprise kiss from her, because they were so close at first, you could tell he starts to have feelings. I would probably have to start feelings for the person that just gives me like a surprise kiss, and like like the whole like I can't tell her to break up because she would go nuts. Well, I would probably like do the same thing too. I'd probably be scared, like to tell her like we're breaking up after her expression going like bonkers on like the world herself. Like I wouldn't say like you should watch it, but to me,
Hell no.
but to me, I actually enjoyed watching the show, and now it's like I'm gonna get like so many people just like bashing on me for this, but this show is actually so enjoyable.
I guess that's why it's called a guilty pleasure.
That's the thing. It's like I don't know, the storyline to me it was interesting. If I were to be so fair on the rating though,
Did you watch like the fan dubs of it? There's fan dubs of the show.
no.
You watch it. They're actually pretty. The dubs are pretty. Like they're not professional, but they're pretty alright. But it's just funny how like somebody fan dubbed the show.
Then someone fan dubs like the ending of it where he got killed.
Yeah.
He actually did. Someone fan.
Oh no, no,
Oh.
I'm not sure about that. I watched like some episodes with like the fan dub of the show just because I know the show got like a bunch of shit from both fans.
You know what? The creator of the show is probably laughing at these people because it's so bad, but it became so popular. It's like Rebecca Black of anime. It's so popular because it's so bad, and people watched it because they wanted to see the ending of it. 'Cause that was a big surprise, though. Like whoever like didn't watch the ending at first, obviously. Like, but the killing thing, I got surprised by the killing, and I thought, damn, pretty good show to me.
School days, man whoring yourself to an early grave.
At least he like died knowing that he fucked 10 girls in the show. At least he fucked like his best friend in high school, best friend in elementary school, the thing that he has a crush on, and like
his girlfriend's like a friend or something.
yeah, dude, this guy's like probably like a player, like a retarded player. Somehow it like worked out for him, except the killing part. But big
And
props
then-
to Maka. I would probably give him props if he was still alive for like doing like 10 women. I like this show.
Well, yeah, it's your guilty pleasure,
Like
so I'll give you that.
my
I'll give
guilty
it.
pleasure rating, I would probably give this, to be fair, would be like 6 out of 10. It's so good. I don't know. Like It's so good. I just can't like put my finger to it, but I enjoyed it, and like it's funny because I also rewatched it again because I you know because people hated it at first. I watched it when it started airing out. When people started to hate it on it, I rewatched it again to see how it went on. Still liked it. I don't know. Shoot, the show to me is like enjoyable for me. I don't know, man. You got any more guilty pleasures with you?
I probably do have more guilty pleasures on the way, but they have yet to be determined right now. So I'll go with something with more
Well, you know,
credibility.
I got Love Hina on my mind. That's a guilty pleasure for
Love
me too.
Hina.
It's an enjoyable show too, even though it's like all about harem and stuff. Just pure harem, you know. I enjoyed it though.
Now for something with a bit more credibility. um, a movie, 1986 anime movie. It's called Dragon Egg. I recommend. It's real old school, and you can tell by the animation style. I recommend you watch it.
Did people hate it though?
No, it's I'm like people don't. I think a lot of people don't know about it because it
Oh,
is
of
quite
course,
old.
it's
It's
pretty old.
1986. Like I think a lot of the Western audience, like a lot of fans, got into anime during like the late
Like the
the late
the
like
late 2000s,
the
right?
late 2000s
Yeah.
or early 90s. So this one's pretty old, 1986. It's you know the story is about this girl and this very it's a very dystopian, very bleak world. But the way that they show this world, it's sort of like if you know the artist HII or H.G. Geiger, if you know that artist, that's sort of how the dystopian world of this show of this movie is sort of designed. Hell, HII or H.G. Geiger, this artist, he created. If you've seen the movie Alien or Alien versus Predator, this artist, something H.G. Geiger, whatever his name is, I forgot. He created the overall design for Alien, and if you've seen
It's
Prometheus
pretty
too,
cool.
like, and if you've seen Prometheus too, he like a lot of the art is in that movie is based on his work. So, and from watching the scenery around the show, I get the feeling that it sort of it has that same feel of this artist. It's very dystopian. It's very bleak. It's very dark, and it's very, you know, it's very. I recommend watching this show like in the dark, and like
In the dark.
yeah, no, you get a better atmosphere for the show in the dark, and you get sort of the feeling of this world, of this dystopian world. It's very meek. It's very like, it's very like it makes you feel it, and yeah. So I recommend watching this in the dark, alone, like by
That
yourself, and
sounded so weird.
like I know that sounds weird and it sounds a bit dirty, but watch it and you will get a sense for this world. And the thing is, anyways, the main storyline is about this girl. She finds an egg, and she basically, the girl is alone, by the way, and the girl looks like she's only
It almost sounds like Death Note. You're telling me to watch it in the dark,
fair enough.
and like
Hell,
you
I
start
watch
to
it.
feel for it.
Hell, I watched Death Note in the dark at like one at night. So yeah. But anyways, the storyline is about this girl. She finds an egg, so I guess that's why it's called Dragon Egg. Or, yeah,
Oh no, duh.
no duh. And basically she's taking care of it, but I think she's not. She looks only about 10 or 12, so she's very young. And like the design for the girl herself is it's very eerie and very ominous. And
Ooh.
once again, too, same with the world. That's how the world is. It's very
Eerie as in like the Grudge eerie, or like
no. I don't think it. It's just I don't think it's trying to scare you, and at the same time, I don't think it's trying to disturb you.
I
But
probably wouldn't watch this in the dark
it,
then if she's so eerie.
no, it's not trying to scare you. It's not trying to disturb you. But at the same time, you got the feeling that it's trying to do that, but it never does. The thing about it, anyways, the story. Girl looks about 10 or 12. She finds this dragon egg. I don't think she knows it's a dragon egg, but she's taking care of it throughout most of the storyline. And then she's the only character throughout most of the film. Like the film is about an hour and a half or so, or maybe more. And then she's the only character in that movie until this white-haired, adult shows up in some, and he shows up and starts sort of maybe helping this girl take care of it and sort of becomes a guardian towards this girl. At the same time, this guardian or this, white-haired figure still seems, there's still a sense of mystery there, and you still don't know his exact purpose or why he's there. And like he's also has the same, aura of mystery that this girl has. Same, and that's another thing. The story itself has this aura of mystery itself too. And the thing about the movie is, it only probably has maybe. I'm being generous with this, but it probably only maybe has like 25 minutes of dialogue. It's a movie that actually goes.
It's like, is it all about just the action, not just through words?
There's not even action in it. There's no action. There's no fan service. There's sort of an underlying progressive story.
Is there
but
like a type of like, oh, I forgot that word. It's like
deeper meaning behind it or something like that.
Like you really have to think to watch the show.
I guess to a certain degree, yes, you have to think maybe to watch the show. But the thing, I was just watching it sort of in awe by it, just because, like I said, because it was an anime, and I guess because of the time, like it was made in 1986, of the time, so it probably didn't like have the the anime standards that we have now with fan service and everything and stuff like that. But yeah, it had no fan service, it had no action, it has very minimal dialogue, and it progressed the story and made you feel just a whole array of different emotions. You were to a certain degree, maybe a bit disturbed and weirded out and freaked out by it, and maybe you get goosebumps watching it, and it made you think. And the fact that it did all this, and it just had such an effect on a viewer, or myself, I guess, without any sort of really.
What made you like get into this though? Like you just said so yourself. There's no action, no dialogue.
No, there is dialogue.
I know, but like so minimal, right? But how does it get you into it though?
Because I guess it sort of just pulls you in. It reels you in, I guess. It's sort of like
because this.
Do you know how like so many people are like? Do you know Slender Man, right?
Yeah.
Do you know like how so many people are like they know what's behind that, and they know like the myth behind it, and it's freaky and it's a bit weird, like the myth behind Slender Man.
Yeah, but it's not real.
Yeah, it's not real. It's not like I know it's not real, and a lot of animes aren't real either. Like
obviously that's a given.
Yeah, exactly, it's a given. So but for some reason people are still pulled into the myth of Slender Man, even though it's like a very relatively like creepy and disturbing myth, and even the game too. They're scared by it, but they're still like they love. For some reason, they love that feeling of
Holy shit! Speaking of Slender Man.
Slender Man,
our behind the scenes, Michael, Peggy, Pegawarian, thank you very much for.
was playing Slender Man, but anyways, yeah.
Thank you very much for giving us the equipment, by the way.
Yeah,
shout outs to Mikey, I'll call him Mikey, Pegawarian.
Who's playing Slender Man right now?
Yeah.
So
the oh shit was you're welcome.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, people love that. Like, people play Slender Man because they love that feeling of just getting, like, scared shitless. And I don't know why. There's an exhilarating.
So,
and, like,
what makes the show get you, like.
Because I found it just, just randomly. Because I was searching online because, just of some, like, recommended anime to watch. And then I went to the movie section. And I don't know where I read this article or even found it. But then I found it, and it recommends certain movies, and sorry, I was about to say Slender Man, and in like top movies for like anime movies you should watch.
This is one of them.
Yeah, it's one of them, and like the second Neon Genesis movie, that was like
that just fully. It's based on popularity, and
I guess to a certain,
just by fans itself. It's
to a certain degree. Yeah, that was like ranked number one. I'm like, okay, whatever. That was just fans voting for that, and sort of I guess the emotions they got from that. And then Dragon Egg, I think it was number two. So like I already watched Neon Genesis and sort of knew the whole thing behind that, and like it was made like in the 1990 something, so or in the early 2000s. So like it was fairly like within the newer generation era. And then when I saw Dragon Egg, I saw 1986. I'm like, wow, that's like quite old. So I rewatched it.
It's ranked number two too.
Yeah, especially if it's ranked number two. So and I I went on different sites and boards and crap like that, and this movie Dragon Egg, it wasn't really mentioned a lot, so I was surprised that it was number two. So I think maybe it was based on like, I guess, the feeling that
Is
you
it
got from me.
because like people just can't explain how good the movie was?
I guess maybe that's another reason, because yeah, you watch the movie and like I said, you're sort of drawn in and reeled in by it, just because it goes throughout the beginning of it, like there's almost entirely no dialogue during the first couple minutes, and during the first couple minutes of this movie, during the beginning, and then just the imagery behind it, you are there's you are a bit scared about what's going to happen next. You're a bit disturbed about sort of the imagery, but not disturbed in the sense like, oh, that's disgusting or that's gross, but you're sort of going, this is like, is this like a nightmare come to life or something like that? Like a shadow. It's like and then yeah.
Dude, you're giving me goosebumps
Sorry.
just like listening to this shit. Man.
You are drawn by it because, like I said, it reels you in because you don't know what the story. It's unclear what.
So there is no goal to it, but like
I guess there's an underlying story to it, but then I sort of, I was still confused by it at the same time, and I might need to rewatch it, but I highly recommend watching it, and sort of, I highly recommend watching it because it's a show that does all these things. It makes you feel scared. It makes you feel disturbed. It makes you feel scared and disturbed to a certain degree. It makes you think a lot, and it makes you sort of wonder about I guess life, or not life, but I don't know, it's hard to explain. But
like you mean like as in like if you sleep in, this is what a nightmare is like should be, or like
it's not what a nightmare should be, but it's what I feel like if you go into a dream and you think it's a nightmare, but then
it's real life. You're watching
no,
this like
you think it's a nightmare, but then at the same time, it has that underlying feeling of a nightmare. But then you sort of have a bit of control with it, but like sort of like a lucid dream. But at the same time, there is sort of that underlining sort of aura of mystery and sort of just ominousness, if that's a word.
Like uncertainty or like
uncertainty, yeah, with it, and it's hard to explain. But I highly recommend watching Dragon Egg. It makes you like, and like I said, watch it alone in the dark. You get a better feel for the world.
You kind of like you kind of furthered onto this whole like eerie, scary.
And then
like is
maybe
it, okay. What if you actually did not do what you did, like turn off the lights, close the
here? I'll say you. I'll say this. It's not something that you would watch with grandma or your dad, like, because it will make her think. It will make her like. It will show her imagery and be like, "What the fuck?" Like, your grandma will probably watch this and go, "Oh, whoa."
Jayvee, come sleep with me now. Grandma's scared.
Yeah, I guess. Whatever, I don't know, but yeah.
Yo, Lola's scared. I love Jayvee.
Yeah,
come sleep with me.
Dude,
that sounded pretty disgusting.
That sounded weird, man. Yeah.
Right.
But anyways.
But there's a lot of grandmas who says something like that. Just pointing that out. Our Lola. My Lola.
Hell, when you were a little kid, you love sleeping over at grandma's house, and like when you were scared, like come on. But anyways, Dragon's Egg, 1986 anime movie. It's not long, so I highly recommend watching it. It's amazing. It's cool. It's awesome. There's imagery in there that makes you feel on. It makes you feel on many different levels, and it's surprising because it's an anime that it's very minimal in its delivery, but then it delivers so much in.
Does it deliver like questions to it?
Yeah, it makes you think. It's an anime that makes you. It's an anime movie that makes you think, but in a positive way, and yeah, and it's in its very minimal delivery of what it is. It does one hell of a good job, like making you feel on so many different levels. So. There you go.
But I also want to say this. When you watch the show, though, but
it's not a show. It's a movie.
Okay, a movie. Sorry about that.
Dragon's Egg is what's
like when
it's
you
what
say
it's called.
But when you say to watch it, blinds closed. If you don't do that, will like the show be a bit, like?
Oh no! Like you could have the blinds on if you don't have the stomach for this type of stuff.
No, but like the thing is, it's like, would it be more enjoyable? Would it be less interesting?
No, I think it would be. No, I think it would still be interesting and still be enjoyable. Like if once again, I'll give this I'll give this to Dragon Egg. Dragon Egg is, I guess, maybe certain people can appreciate it, or certain people can watch it and sort of get a feel for it. So maybe it depends on the person who's watching it, but I still highly recommend, anyone who likes anime, or anyone who has a thing for anime, or anyone just in anime in general or involved with it, you should watch Dragon Egg. And if you don't want to watch it, in the dark, blinds closed, by yourself, then be my guest. Like, you could watch it, with a friend.
You must have a really weak stomach if you.
Yeah, you might watch it with a friend, and yeah, watch it with a friend if you want to, and watch it with lights on if you have to. But the thing is, it won't sort of, it won't make it any less of a good anime. At the same time, like, in order to get a feel for like the environment of this anime, I think you should, watch it in the dark by yourself. Even though that sounds weird.
That sounded so weird. I'm gonna change the course to this. Have you watched Haruhi before? Like Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya?
God.
Oh.
No. Yo, are you hungry, man? I just heard your stomach.
I heard the rumble, man. I'm feeling a bit hungry now. I just ate some dim sum today before I came here. So, you haven't watched it before? Have you heard of the story?
Yeah, I've heard of the story, and I know.
Have you heard enough that you don't need to watch it?
Yeah.
Okay, so like.
And the thing is, I know like how the episodes are sort of like.
Fucked up.
Yeah, fucked up, misplaced, and like episode 1 is actually episode 4, and like episode 5 is actually episode 1. Yeah, like
it's mumbo jumbo. I
I
didn't even follow the whole order.
Yeah.
I kind of watched it just one.
There's like the Melancholy of Haruhi. I can't even pronounce her name. And then there's
I
like
have to go rewatch it again.
there's like that, and then there's another one like the Melancholy, and then the something of.
Oh, this is Suzumiya no Jutsu or something like that.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of stuff.
But
there's a bunch of stuff with how he.
I'm not gonna really talk.
Whatever her name is.
I'm not gonna really talk into the story about it, but like I made a poll. This Monday. Have you seen the poll?
Not yet.
Okay. They made a poll. I made a poll on Monday, and like it got me thinking. Okay, so say if Haruhi did not exist in the anime, they made a group called SOS Brigade, right? So if she were not to exist,
I have to add though, I was surprised that Crispin Freeman is actually in Haruhi.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I'm like, what?
Yeah. I was going to say, like,
and he's in like the SOS Brigade, right?
Yeah. So what do you think should be the leader of that group?
I'm a bit
like,
biased.
The Esper, what did Miku do? I forgot what she did, but she did something. I forgot. The alien and the normal Keon. Who do you think?
I don't know, man. This is like, I'm a bit biased, so I'll just go with like Crispin Freeman because I just like his voice, and I think he should just he should just go with his a la carte voice and just like demand leadership through that. At the same time, like. It's somewhat of a very strange and weird anime for me to sort of
get into it
and sort of figure out who should the leader be.
Yeah, the story is kind of a little bit, there it is. There's people saying the Esper and the the fan service girl. I'll say fan service girl. They say those two should be the leaders of the SOS Brigade. Do you think these two should be the leader of SOS Brigade?
No! Like,
between those four, do you think those two would never be, should never be the leader? Between those two? I guess
there's probably more people qualified. Probably within
No, but like, say, she didn't even exist and there's just those four in that club.
Whatever. Like,
no, Koizumi, the Esper. I forgot what she does. Oh my god.
They could do whatever.
I keep thinking she's a healer, but she's not. Is she a healer? I forgot.
I'll let the poll decide. I don't care anymore.
Oh man. Oh, I actually got nothing else to say really here.
Another movie. Okay, then I'll bring it back. Vampire Hunter D, Bloodlust. Amazing movie.
I've heard of it before.
Cinematography, and that is great. The storyline is easy to follow. The action is pretty badass. There is some fan service, but whatever. The fan service is understandable. And hey, If you're into vampires, bam. It has
So I'm guaranteed. So I'm
and
pretty
the-
sure like the majority of the viewers are like girls. Then
no.
really?
There is an underlining romance in there, but then there's like enough badass action in there, like to sort of draw a male audience. At the same time, to like
To these girls, it almost sounds like it's like anime like Twilight or something.
Nah,
Minus the werewolf and bullshit.
nah.
Are you sure about that? It's not like
No, it's not like Twilight. It's like there is a romance between like in there, but then at the same time, like the romance is more compelling than Twilight. Hell, anything is more compelling than Twilight. My own shit is more compelling than Twilight. All right.
know.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's action filled. There's a sci-fi element to it. It's like, and it's just awesome and badass and just cool and yeah.
You can't really describe about the show. Is it really that good?
Basically, there's this main character, D. He's hunting this vampire that stole his daughter from this dude. At the same time, there's other group of hunters that are hunting werewolves and vampires too. But the thing is, they're getting in his way in this mission. But then they end up working together, and eventually he meets some vampire, and he finds out that there's an underlining storyline between this vampire and this chick, and something's happening, and there's romance in there. And then along the way, there's still some head chopping and fighting and coolness.
Head chopping. So is it pretty gory too?
Yeah, to a certain degree, yeah.
How gory is it? Does it actually show someone getting chopped off?
It's not as gory as like Berserk or something, but there's good amounts of it.
Is this interesting how you're like trying to search up the movie on YouTube? For some strange reason, no one does not have the anime movie on.
Then maybe I guess the name.
It's actually pretty like not well known, but for some strange reasons ranked number 2 of one of the best anime movies ever.
Number 2 or number 3, but like it's pretty cool. Speaking of good movies, Akira, man.
Akira.
Yeah, John, you want to take over on this?
No, I've heard about it, but I haven't really.
Oh, sorry,
taken
my bad. The anime, sorry, the anime that I was talking about before that I said was called Dragon's Egg. It's actually
Angel's Egg.
It's actually called Angel's Egg. Okay,
There you
and
go.
like it's actually 1986, I think. This anime was made.
It's pretty creepy when I'm looking at it right now.
What did I
man.
tell you? Like, yeah,
It's already like just 40 seconds into it. It's already creepy.
it's like freaking you out. So yeah, if you are gonna watch, like, you get the atmosphere of watching this anime, like if you're alone in the dark by yourself. At the same time, like
The soundtrack is beautiful though. For something as creepy as that, it makes it even more creepier.
yeah, it makes it even more creepier. At the same time, like, yeah, if you don't have the stomach for this, or like if you're already weirded out by the first couple of seconds of this, then I suggest like you like watch it with somebody.
Watch like 1 minute 17 seconds of it. It's already interesting. Actually, I'm not gonna lie about that. I actually want to go and watch this right now because you know what? You're right about how like it's so creepy, but it gets you into it.
Because you just want to figure out
It's
more. If any of you like viewers have watched something called Salad Fingers. Have you seen about Salad Fingers?
Fingers on YouTube.
Yeah, Salad Fingers on YouTube. If you've seen that, like, for some reason too, it's weird and it's strange and it's creepy, but then it draws you in for some reason. It sort of has this Angel's Egg sort of has that same feeling, but it freaks you out, man. It's freaky. That's all I could say. And like, probably the first time I watched it, I'm fine. You know what? I think I'm probably not gonna watch it again. Like the first time I watched it, I think is like the best time to watch it, because then you have that, you don't know what to expect, so then you like see that, and not only that too, but then you're already weirded out by it from like the beginning, so bam.
Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen,
Episode 2 over.
thank you guys for watching Otaku Nation podcast. This has been actually not bad episode. I would say it's better than the first one. I would say it's no failure, like technical difficulties this
Yeah.
time. As for me, the ravishing dashing on the microphone, Johnlery Bato, the admin and member of Anime Lovers. Don't forget to go to facebook.com/group/Anime Lovers admin. Don't forget to go with that. And alongside with me
Is Jayvee Pasqua, original OG anime watcher,
the OG anime
original
watcher.
OG anime watcher, and member of AnimeLovers.com. I'm Jayvee Pasqua.
I am the sexy on the microphone, Johnlery Bato, and thank you guys for watching podcast.
And on the side, we have
Michael Peguarian. Thank you for the stuff.
the Tech 1212 technician.
This has been episode 2. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you later next week on Thursday with me and some I don't know. It could be him or it could be someone else. I don't know.
We might even have like actually a guy phone us in from like Skype.
Like, why not?
Why not?
We will see you guys next week. Bye bye
Adios.
for now.
Bam. Episode 2 done.